Edwards off the running. Buster back down to Edwards. They hand it off to Johnson. Boise State has won. Right now, and they take a downfield shot. And the catch is made. It's Riley Williams. Still sitting free. Touchdown.
All right, guys, welcome into another edition of the Gridiron Uncensored podcast, live version. Trevor and myself tonight so far. Blake should jump in here shortly when he's able. So maybe he'll be ready for the Bama game to talk about that one when he comes on. Trevor, how you doing, man? Yeah, hell of a weekend for sports, bro.
It was crazy. And then, obviously today, followed up by the firing of Billy Napier at Florida. Whatever, man. These teams that seem to love the idea of firing a coach mid-season is interesting to me.
It's started happening. I feel like that's the trend now. I don't remember it like growing up being that way. Maybe I just didn't pay attention as much, but I feel like you wait till the end, you do your search and you do your thing. But now it's like,
I think the portal has influenced everything, including the firing of coaches.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be ready. You got to have somebody lined up.
Yep.
And like teams like Virginia Tech, who's already fired their coach for a little while now, I feel like they've got to be pushing hard for a top coach. Like, you don't want Virginia Tech. We've said it deserves so much more than what they've had. And for me, if I'm you, I'm going after James Franklin hard. I think he could kill it at that school.
I think now that Florida's open, I think Virginia Tech's cooked as far as getting James Franklin.
It's possible. People are talking about Florida as a possibility for him.
Where did I see that? I was looking at that. I think it was USA Today put out top coaches, and one kind of stood out to me that I didn't think about, but I think that he would be high on everybody's is Dillingham.
Yeah.
I think he would be high on any of these programs, including Penn State and Virginia Tech and everybody. I think he would be a young guy to come into Penn State and basically just take that job and run with it. I think that would be a good hire.
Yes. It'll be interesting, Trev, to see Brom's another one,
Brom is in there. They were saying stupid stuff like Dan Lanning for Florida job. I'm like, no.
He's got
such a good thing going right now. He ain't gonna ruin that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens. And honestly, today I thought there was going to be more, blood in the water, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Colton, I thought, Norvell would have been canned today. There's, On3's reporting that that the administrators and the boosters, they're talking about it. They're coming together, trying to figure out what they want to do. I'm surprised Luke Fickell is still a goddamn coach. How has that man not been, relieved yet? I
think he will, though. I think it's only a matter of time.
He gets dealt such a poor hand every year. Between the schedules, the quarterbacks going down, so I get it to a point, but at the same time, bro, the way you're losing is not acceptable. You're handing it in.
It's certainly not Wisconsin football.
No, and I don't even mind certain changes to scheme or whatever, but you at least go out swinging. Even in the Michigan game a couple weeks, he
dead ducked it. He just turtled.
Ohio State, they just put it down on him. So he's another one. We talked about, Norvell needs to go. I don't think he's not a bad guy. I get it, but it's time. The recruiting, you should be recruiting at least top 10, at Florida State.
I feel like at Florida State it is. That's what I'm looking for. Concerning trend that they keep trying to bring in so many players from the portal.
Yeah.
And the recruiting classes, I feel like, are getting hurt a little bit in the endeavor.
I think it's a part of it too. But they, the portal classes, they kill it the last couple of years, and then it just, I don't know. The start looks so good. They beat Bama, and everybody's like, "Holy crap, man!" Like what a turnaround. They get ranked, they start looking good, and then all of a sudden this fall apart. we'll talk about more about that game later. But
I feel like
there's
they just are who
Tallahassee.
they thought who we thought they were, and it was just a
Yeah.
fluke that they caught Bama not prepared for a running quarterback. I feel like.
Yeah, I don't know. The rain. I mean, Bama, still feeling that loss to Michigan, from before. I had to say it. I'm required to by law. But no, I don't know, man. There's problems across. There is flash in the pan. Yeah, I mean they flashed and now
they flashed.
They flamed out. It's like never mind.
2-pump chump. They're the 2-pump chump.
I almost said it and then you said it. We're on the same brain theory there. Trev, let's roll on. We'll see what happens throughout the week. I'm sure other coaches are going to get
I'm sure the coaching carousel is only starting to heat up.
It's going to be it's going to be crazy. Really is. So you better hope your assistants, if you're a good team, and you better pray your assistants stay put and your head coaches hang tight. Like if you're Arizona State, if you're Louisville, and Louisville, you're the first team we're going to talk about tonight. Right. Because I mean, really great performance from them. Beck had a rough night, 4 picks. He still threw for 271. He had 10 incompletions, and of those, 4 of them were interceptions. You can't do that. He's had a great season so far. And then Miami does what Miami has been doing under Cristobal and before, shit in the bed when they don't need to. Now, I'll say Louisville, I think they're a good team. We've said it preseason, Trevor. When we did our previews, this is a team that, Brahms, once he gets them rolling, Miller Moss, there's moments where he plays really good games, and then there's others where he dumps. And that day, Friday, was just one of those games. But Miami couldn't run the ball.
Carson Beck had the worst day ever.
Yeah. He had the worst time. I don't know what the hell's going on with him. Like he had something go down that week. His girl left him or something. Again, I don't know, but just a bad week. Trev, what do you think about this game in Louisville moving forward? I mean, they've got a great track from the ACC.
I thought they caught Miami flat-footed. I felt like Miami was not. I don't want to say not playing with a sense of urgency, but yeah, kind of, I guess.
Yeah.
Against Louisville, I guess, I don't know. I'm putting a lot of assumptions into this thought, but I mean, really, I think just hats off to Braum and Louisville for playing a pretty darn close to flawless game against a very good Miami team.
It was a hot start. Yeah.
But yeah, they've had a hot start. Rightfully so. They were the number 2 team in the country, but as we'll show later, I kind of dropped them quite a bit. I think I put them in my personal rankings. I dropped them like 10 spots, I think, from that loss. It probably should have been more, to be honest with you. But losing to an unranked team, regardless of where you are in the standings, should drop you like 15 spots, in my opinion.
Yeah, you're throwing some hammers today, baby.
Yeah.
Some of them deserve it. And we'll look at rankings, guys, in the AP poll here soon. I guess that blew my brain out. I forgot to do that before we started talking about Louisville. I was just looking at the games and I'm like, hey, let's talk about it. But if you want, we can shift back, Trev. I mean, we're doing it. We do it on the fly, baby.
What's that? You want to go
look at the rankings and all that?
Yeah,
crap?
Let's. Well, I guess we already kind of got into it, but yeah. So you're welcome, Fox. By the way,
you're welcome, Fox.
This is the best image we could find of the AP poll.
Yeah,
right? This is the AP top 25.
It's solid. It is bad.
Solid. I mean, it's fine. I still think Illinois being in the top 25 is absolutely asinine.
Yeah,
I think USC should still be in the top 25 over them. 100%.
I agree. Yeah, and even in ours, now Blake, he's
completely out on them. I know.
Yeah, he's out on them. So it does, the numbers, the math. But when you look at it, in ours, Michigan is over USC too, even though they just won recently. Yeah. He's just not a fan. They caught Michigan on a bad day. Michigan got out schemed, defensively, but he thinks the potential is better for Michigan, which shocks me, honestly. He's an Alabama fan. So he's got his reasonings though. And then the AP, obviously, they value something there too. So different things. I will look at the movers and the losers real quick from the AP poll. Ohio State's number 1 still. They've had another great week, blowing out Wisconsin. Indiana's up to number 2, man. I love that so much for them. And really, when you look at this top 10, if you had told people this in preseason, they'd probably been like, no, there's no way. Indiana,
no way.
Texas A&M, Georgia Tech at number 7. They moved up 5 spots. Vandy at number 10.
Which I think they're getting shit on a little bit. I think they should be higher than that.
Oh, Vandy?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're earning it. And, Pavia's he's a hell of a gamer. They lost to Bama, but outside of that, the guys around them, Miami just took a loss and they're right in front of them on the AP poll. Oregon, they're a 1-loss team up there. They lost similar to Indiana. So, I mean, all these 1-loss teams, it's just how you shuffle them. But then you look at BYU, they're sitting there at number 11. They've moved up 4. They're looking good. And I think they're growing pretty well with Bear Bachmeier at quarterback. And that was one I left them unranked to start the season because I didn't know how they would respond after Retzlaff was cut effectively. And then it was just really, Bears, he's a young quarterback, all these things. And look what they're doing. I mean, they're tearing through it. They made Utah, especially in those last couple of drives, look stupid. So props to BYU.
It still bothers me he wears 47. I'm just going to say that.
It does bug
it bugs the shit out of me.
When Devin Gardner was wearing number 98 from Michigan.
No, I couldn't even look at him.
I just saw a picture of it today, and I was like, dude, that freaks me out. And then you look at, Texas Tech, they dropped 7. They lost a tight game. They had a hell of a comeback against Arizona State. They got down some starters. It's that time of year, though. This shit happens. And if good teams will have to try to find a way to win regardless. But at least they made it close. They dropped a little bit. Tennessee took a pretty good drop after getting beat down by Alabama there. And then LSU, they've really accomplished nothing. But they're ranked number 20 in the country. Their losses are better.
I think Brian Kelly's job is up for discussion at this point.
Yeah, I don't know what the folks in the Bayou are going to do. I mean, first, BK comes in talking like a fake ass accent, that alone. And then he starts dancing with recruits in the recruiting visits. That freaked me out. And now
I think he's like stretching his skin or something because it looks very glossy every time I see him. Every time I see him on TV, looks like he's got a bunch of product and crazy madness going on with his face.
Yeah, and then when he gets so mad, he's like blowing vessels out of his,
red face. He definitely has a red face.
Yeah, I got a couple comments. Let's get to here. Jared, Michigan and Texas are not.
I don't even know why the fuck you're talking. You literally just got.
I mean, he's not wrong, Jared. Florida State's taking those L's, but.
The two teams you just mentioned both won this weekend.
Oh, man.
I'm just saying.
Oh, man. Listen, as a Michigan fan, I can see why folks should say that. However, the 2 losses, I think Oklahoma's a good team. USC did smack them around. I totally agree with that. I slipped Michigan back in because of the craziness that's going on around them. They had a hell of a rebound. Yes, the rebound was much better.
The eye tested the effectiveness, definitely.
I agree, though, about Texas not being ranked. Yes. I don't – they're close to me because, like, they did beat Oklahoma. I respect that to a point. Oklahoma was still neutered because of, Mateer being hurt. But they just offensively have been just really ugly. And there's no really signs of changing. It's not like there's progress. So that's why I had them. And we got to mention it for our boys back home. Bama at number 4. Yes, they're moving on up like the Jeffersons. They're doing solid. They're getting the wins. They look much more impressive than they did in week 1. Even though Kirk, like we did talk about earlier over text, there are issues. Run defense is a problem. The run game is a little off. And we'll talk more about the Bama game here shortly. But yeah, comment. I love these comments. And guys, if you're watching on Twitter, make sure you jump in the comments. We want to hear what you have to say. It's like a mailbag, without sending us the questions first. We look at these and we want to talk with you guys.
Well, just so everyone knows, the blow up on Jared about that comment, he's a big FSU fan, and they just lost to Stanford. So like zero room to talk.
Yeah,
Like zero.
Hey, facts are facts, man. It is how it is. You gotta just sit and watch, Jared. Just sit and watch.
Take it on the chin, brother. You better off next year with a new coach.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think
talk about
Norvell's going to
Florida
list.
State.
I honestly, I mean, unless his buyout's probably ridiculous, I'm sure. That would be the only reason that he gets to stick around, probably.
I can't remember what his buyout is. I don't have it pulled up at the moment.
I'm sure.
Jared, if you want to drop that in there. But hey, I'll give props though to Stanford before we go any further. And it's a good win for them. From where they were in the off season, they have really tried to put something together. The continuity, the building a culture with Andrew Luck. He's down on the sidelines, getting onto players like that. That's what I want to see from him. So I'll give them those props.
I mean, getting that win is good. I love it. I am here for all of the upsets.
Yes. Well, we want chaos, and we have plenty of it this weekend.
We got plenty of it.
We mentioned the Miami game. Miami takes a loss. I'm not writing them off yet. I think, again, to me, Louisville has been a danger team, Trevor. We talked about in the preseason and if you guys are new to us, you're just watching, all offseason, we were grinding. We were looking at every single one of these teams. We did previews on all of them. If you want to go look back and see what we said about your team, go check it out. We're going off of what we saw from maybe spring game or just any of the information that's out from blog sites and everything else.
Some information's better than others.
Some is better than others, and that's a fact. But either way, I'm not selling Miami yet. I think they'll figure it out. Beck had a rough week in the running game, to be honest, as well. They need to get better, but Louisville had a great start. Let's move on, Trev. I want to talk a little bit about Nebraska and Minnesota. Minnesota's kind of had a up and down season. They are 5-2. Like that's fantastic for them. But there's been times that they've looked rough, and then others, Drake Lindsey's looked really good and poised. But then yesterday, it was the Darius Taylor show finally really getting rolling. And that's the type of back that we've expected to see, or performance that we've expected to see from him all season. And he put it out. Yeah. And Nebraska, on the other hand, they couldn't do anything. 36 rushing yards. I mean, their offensive line play is disgusting. Minnesota had 9 sacks.
So
9. What the hell are you doing, Matt Rule? And then Penn State. I hope to God, Penn State, you are not the team that are sitting there like, oh yeah, baby,
that's our coach,
and that's our guy. That's it. Matt Rule's ready. He's coming. And then that happens, and you're just like, oh, God dang, man. That's, maybe he was just distracted. We'll just put it at that. The whole team is distracted because he's going to.
No, I would be find an assistant coach at a big time program. Maybe that'll be a better option.
Oh my gosh, man.
My goodness. No, I think I'd be surprised if they pick Rule, to be honest with you.
I wouldn't want him after that.
Well, even before that, I don't think he's that good of a coach. Going back to NFL, I know you can throw records and blah blah blah.
Yeah,
but
he is
most of coaching. I don't.
I mean, he did it at Temple.
Yeah,
he did it at Baylor,
and
then popped off, and now it's here and they're trying. They're 5-2, but the losses have been rough. It was a tight loss to Michigan. I got that, but you still had moments of just the run game again was poor. Offensive line was poor.
Raiola did not play good, in my opinion.
Yeah, he has a couple of those mini Mahomes moments, and then it's like he stands in the pocket too much. Like he doesn't get rid of the ball enough. 9 sacks is disgusting. Even as a quarterback, you should be getting rid of the ball. So Nebraska, we're highlighting you as taking that L, and Matt Rule.
Expect your quarterback to transfer this year.
he's gone. If he takes it, if he goes to Penn State and takes him to Penn State, Raiola to Penn State, it's going to be the same story for Penn State again next year.
Yep.
I don't know. Real quick, going to talk Ohio State. The number one team seemed pretty much unanimous. They've been beating everybody down defensively. They're shutting everyone down. I think they've only given up like 41 points this year, which is absurd.
They have the easiest schedule they've had in a really long time, though, as well.
Yeah, and you're not wrong.
I mean, granted, I know it was front loaded. They had to play some a bigger game at the beginning of the season. But I'm talking if you just look at their schedule as a whole,
Yeah.
it's turning out that it is a cakewalk all the way to the end of the season.
Well, there's like the sparse good ones in there, like Washington, I think, is a solid team.
I do. I really do. I just don't think they're there yet.
Yeah.
They're not. They need like 1, maybe 2 more seasons of developing players. And I think Jedd Fisch will have that team humming.
Yeah. And then you look at the Texas game and like, oh man, tight battle, defensive, but
really
Texas's offense.
Really?
Yeah. Jared hopping on another team's bandwagon.
Freaking bandwagon fan now.
No, man, you got to go down with the ship, bro. You got to.
You better own that Seminole love.
I know you guys have already been like down at rock bottom, but
you're
trying to catch that with that trough up or whatever, that crest up. And I guess if you're in a trough, you're going down lower. But whatever, I'm blame that on the Pendleton. Either way, when I look at Ohio State, no, there's good teams on the schedule. I think Illinois is still a solid team. Mm-hmm. They're not as good as I was expecting. They had issues on the line, and they've locked them down. I mean, they have. But you look back at Texas, and to me that win's just not as impressive anymore, even though they did do what they needed to do to get the win. And Stan has truly improved. They're letting him loose, and they let him fly. This week. I mean, it was really impressive. Almost 400 yards passing from Julian. He's very accurate. And that's what Ohio State needs in a quarterback. Like last year, they had some accuracy issues at times. But right now, he's turning it up. The biggest thing for me when it comes to Ohio State, I guess, is the run game. Like it just there's moments. West had good runs, some good burst, but for the most part, you're getting 3.5 yards a carry. Again, Wisconsin was a solid run defense, but still, it's like they're just like, hey, we need to get this thing going. So they're trying to get the run pounded, and then second quarter held scoreless. Then third quarter, say, okay, let's air it out a little bit more. Let's get this passing game back. So I'm curious to see how they'll be the rest of the season if they get the run game a little bit more situated. But as of right now, this team they're rolling. And it's going to set up a hell of a battle at the end of the year against Michigan.
Yeah, it will. But I think the offense is kind of indicative of the offensive coordinator. He's a wide receivers guy.
Yeah.
He's a wide receivers guy. He's been a wide receivers guy for a very long time. It does not surprise me his focus is not on the running game.
Yeah. I think he's trying, but I mean, it's when you have the talent out wide that you do,
when you have those guys, like it's almost a freaking cheat code.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's nasty, the talent that they have out wide. And then being as accurate as he is, that's dangerous.
Yep.
Any team that goes up against them is going to be in the blender when it comes to, the passing attack. Blake, welcome in, my man.
What's up?
What you got down there says trees and Seminole. Oh, man.
Over.
Oh, Stanford and the Seminoles.
Yes, very true. Trees over Seminoles, very true. And
we love trees.
We've mentioned it a little bit tonight, Blake, with Norvell. He should have been fired already. How he hasn't, I don't know. But we have not talked about that game yet, so we'll hammer that more later. Right now, we were just talking about Ohio State and the offense, and really how I feel like the running attack needs to get better. But the offensive, the weapons that they have out wide, it over steps that. They don't really need it. So, what are your thoughts on Ohio State before we move on to the next one?
Just in general, I think their defense carries the team, and offensively, they're getting better week to week.
Yeah, I mean they are, and Sands really improving.
Yeah.
Looking at some of these comments real quick before we move to the next. Colton, you're not wrong. I mean, we've hit on some, we've missed on others, especially Penn State and Clemson. Jesus,
fuck. I'm over it. I'm just, I'm just overall embarrassed of my picks. The only one that's kind of holding water still is Utah, kind of.
I got to go back. We need to look at the team draft again. We'll post that this week and see how we're looking. But anybody that looks at these rosters, they look, and it's not just us looking at these teams and what they have, and Klubnik was coming off a great year.
Yeah.
Clemson, everything was there for it. And then the question was the run game. And then they've just fallen apart across the board. And then at Kansas State started off like trash, Colton, but they've kind of rebounded. Okay. They're
not really.
I'm not giving up hope on the mangy cats. All right. I can't.
They definitely mangy. They dirty.
Yeah, they're a little mangy and dirty. Let's talk about the cats down at, I mean, they're not cats, but like figuratively speaking, people down in Texas A&M. They got a tight win against Arkansas. They are people too. I'm sorry, I'm late. I had to throw this one up from a friend. Yes. Oh man. Hey, put that one on repeat, especially the way that ended. Absolutely brutal for Florida State fans. But let's talk Texas A&M real quick. 7-0 for the first time in a long time. They're rolling offensively. Marcel Reed had a good game. And he's been up and down at moments this season.
Right.
But this is a game they needed from him. But Arkansas, they've had moments too where they'll go out and they'll have a great offensive game, and then they'll lay an egg. They'll shit the bed totally. And this week, Taylor Green was out there. He was playing pretty solid. The rushing attack was there from Mike Washington. Tight battle. Fourth quarter got a little spicy. But what do you guys think about this one? I mean, Texas A&M's defense really, 4 sacks, that saves the day.
Yeah, I feel like Texas A&M just their defense saved them a lot for a lot of mistakes and just not producing like I thought they would again, especially against Arkansas. This game actually makes me more concerned with them potentially going to the SEC championship and or the playoff. Is I'm not sure if I have the confidence of them to be able to, like, I always have a problem with teams that play down to their competition.
Yeah.
And not play to their full potential every single game. So that's where I put Texas A&M at this point, is I don't trust them to get up for it when it matters, regardless of the team.
Blake, what do you think?
I've kind of just started to accept this is where we are in college football now. I don't think you're going to start seeing these clear and above better teams like we used to.
Yeah.
Because every team has equal talent, and then it changes so much that dynamic is gone of retaining a team and them being a dominant force. Clemson is a prime example of that.
Yeah.
As far as A&M in general, offensively, I mean, they're putting the points up. It just looks ugly to me. Like it looks like I just don't see that sustenance there, and it does concern me going forward for them. But they are 7-0 for the first time in like 25 years. So I mean,
yeah.
But the talent or the competition hasn't been, the upper echelon of talent, but they're still 7-0, and that's hard to do. I mean, there's other teams that are dropping games left and right to small teams, and they're not doing it. So, I mean, you got to give them credit for it.
Yeah, I mean, the defense did get tore up. It was just like the Notre Dame game again.
Though, I think Taylor Green's one of the best players in college football. So, I mean, it's hard to –
he has moments of being so damn good, and then others where you're like, what the hell are you doing, man?
It still surprises me that he hasn't left Arkansas to try and find a winning program.
He likes the barbecue there.
Yeah.
I mean, it probably is pretty damn good.
God, they're just getting flamed all day with these comments.
It's irrelevant.
It is. Listen, Texas A&M, this is the point where they typically, when they have these seasons, they start to fold. And this is where Elko is about to, he needs to earn his money. And we talked about it offline in our chat. Texas A&M has everything in front of them. You have LSU coming up, which is offensively seemed challenged, which is, sometimes they do all right. They've got tons of talent, but it's a Brian Kelly special. And then you got Missouri, who's kind of been floundering. Yeah, they're winning games. They're ugly, but they're winning. And then you have a horrid South Carolina team, Samford, the traditional cupcake at the end of an SEC schedule. And then you play Texas, who has also been floundering on offense. So this is one that everything is in front of this Aggie team to make a run to the playoffs and an SEC championship game. What all this talent that they've had over the years, they've been waiting for, and it's here. They just have to finish. this is going to be a huge November for them, and really starting here at the end of October. And Arkansas, I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you. You guys, you got Bobby Petrino. He's probably your next coach. I mean, I don't know why they don't just go ahead and hire that dude. Maybe it's the motorcycle wreck still is holding too much weight. I'm trying to look at the comments too. Special teams gave up a touchdown to Notre Dame. That's true too. So we'll see what happens with A&M moving forward. But I do like this team. I value that Notre Dame win very heavily because I think Notre Dame's a really solid squad, and CJ Carr is just getting better. All right, let's move on and talk a little bit about Georgia and Ole Miss. This is another one where, kind of Blake mentioned it, with all the distributing talent, you're not able to hoard the talent like you were. These teams they're getting holes in them, and the depth is being impacted. So I think these are still good teams, but it's not like where you saw the just straight domination from start of the game to the end. Ole Miss is loaded with talent. Georgia is too. Chambliss on his first true difficult road start, he had a pretty solid game. I was expecting maybe a little bit more on the ground from him, but they had a nice lead in the third quarter, and then here comes Kirby Smart and crew. They tear it up at the end, and God dang, I'm sorry, I got caught on a comment. But then Georgia goes and blows them out. Kiffin does as usual, losing a big game when he shouldn't. Is he the new Franklin? And what do you guys think about this game and these squads?
Kiffin, he can win big games because he's beaten higher ranked teams.
True.
This was the classic. Kiffin is good at jumping out, getting up big in the beginning. Georgia does not. Georgia fires back in the second half, and Ole Miss falls apart. And that's been, the key for both of those coaches for years. And that's really just what happened here. Yeah. Kiffin's play calling, especially later in the third quarter, was atrocious. I just didn't understand a lot of it. When you have I felt like he took the gas off with a comfortable lead, and he should have just kept pouring it on. Yeah. Georgia, fourth quarter, they're the hardest team in the country to beat in the fourth quarter.
They own it. They do so good in the fourth. And then you look at time of possession in this game, they dominated the ground. And that's what as an SEC team, if you cannot run the football in the fourth quarter, you will lose games. That is just a fact of the matter for any team. But really, if you're in these battles, you have to be able to run. And when you're looking at, the rushing attack for Ole Miss, it was only 88 yards. Georgia had 221 guys. Mm-hmm. Trev, what are you feeling on this one? Georgia, hell of a win there, but Ole Miss, it kind of feels like the same old for them.
Yeah, I hate Georgia so much. More or less, I just hate hearing Kirby Smart talk. So he annoys the shit out of me. But this was Ole Miss's game. They could have beat them in the first three quarters. But you're right. They let them hang around. Ole Miss couldn't execute, especially when it mattered. So that's why I don't think Ole Miss will be there to play in the playoff come the end of the season.
Yeah, I meant to talk about – I guess I talked a little bit about Texas A&M schedule, but I wanted to look at Ole Miss's before we move on to talking about the Bama game. And you look at what they have coming up. Ole Miss has Oklahoma. It depends on, for them, how much Mateer in his hand has improved. But really, Oklahoma's a one-man show on offense. It's Mateer enough or nothing. The defense is solid. I think the defense is strong. They've got good edge rushers. They've got good play in the middle. But if Mateer, if they shut him down, then that's a win. Then you got South Carolina, the Citadel, Florida, and then Mississippi State. So unless Ole Miss does their usual where they lose another one late season and they get dropped back and they'll
might lose to Mississippi State.
That could be one.
I'm picking that already. I'm picking that. I'm doing final pick right there.
Yeah.
Mississippi State over Ole Miss.
Calling it weeks in advance, folks.
Yeah.
No, I think Mississippi State's very improved from where they were. So that's something. Just watch for Kiffin and that usual late collapse that he has. It's like Cristobal at Miami. It's the same thing. You know, I don't mind them losing to Louisville. That's a good squad, but watch them lose some stupid ass game down the line. That'll keep them out. All right, let's talk Bama. Blake, you are the resident Bama fan. We got the other Gumps, as they call you guys, in the comments, ready to roll. I can't remember who it was that called you that. And they were like, I can't listen to this show because that Gump on your team. Like, dude, he's just talking the goddamn game. What do you want him to do? But great game from them. They beat the nasty throw up orange Tennessee Volunteers.
Yep.
What they say, and really that pick six turned the whole game around. Like,
Oh, it
was beautiful.
Just a beautiful play. I thought we had a great defensive game plan. We didn't give up any explosive passes, everything in front. Yardage wise, they gave up a lot of yards, but yards don't mean nothing if you don't get in the end zone. And we kept them out. Aside from that big run in the third, late in the third, and then the first quarter, I felt like we left a lot to be desired. Still, just that lack of execution offensively. Yeah. Plays are there, and we just we don't execute. I see open receivers. Todd didn't see them. Yeah. Still take him over Jalen Milroe any day.
For sure.
Offensive line, I thought improved. We moved a lot of guys around. We played 7 or 8 different linemen. Yes, Tennessee eats the corn dog the long way, stick and all. They swallow stick, son. But offensively, I still think we're really good. I feel like we're just we're here. We need to be here, and we just don't seem to be making that climb offensively.
Good news for Bama. You guys got the quarterback. You guys got a quarterback. You got a gamer.
Yeah.
I agree. I'm more worried about our running game. Jam Miller, I think, is playing scared with the collarbone injury.
Yeah.
He's just not running hard like he was last year. And Kevin Riley, he's explosive. He's just a little small. But when Daniel Hill come in, it changed the game, running the football in the fourth quarter. He's Derrick Henry Jr., 6'2", 240. Runs a 4.5. I mean, he's a solid running back.
Yeah.
He just needed the opportunity.
Yeah.
And he finally got it, showed out. I mean, he was trucking through people in the fourth.
And that's where I give props to the coaching staff, is finding different ways to get yards on the ground and to try to chew clock. And, Tennessee did everything they could to try to get back into this game. And you give them props for that. I think Aguilar is still a solid quarterback. He did throw him hold on. God dang these comments. That's what we're laughing at. I'm throwing it up. Again, if you're on Twitter watching, jump in the comments. I don't know, we've seen them before. If not, let me log on to Twitter real quick and see if there's anything. No. So hit them up, hit us up so we can see it on here and talk. Jacob. I know that we love the comments. They're funny. But I do give props to Tennessee. The pass that they threw, that pick six, to me, that's on the coaching staff. Running a play action with no timeout down low is fucking stupid.
Even I said that. I was like, you know what's coming. You can't stop the clock. You're not going to risk running the ball. It's like a Southerner at a Sonic, in a truck. They're going to squat on it. They're squatting, baby. They're waiting for that pass, and it was a perfect read on defense. Mm-hmm. So what do you expect? Aguilar could have put that more outside, but it is what it is.
I still think Joey Aguilar is probably one of the a really good quarterback. It's just unfortunate that he's at Tennessee.
Well, I will say this is my last comment on the game. It really showed a difference in the defense when Damani Jackson was not on the field.
Yeah.
When he came in the fourth quarter, it was 2 pass interference calls within 5 plays, and they drive right down the field.
Yeah.
I mean, and that shows, I don't know what's happened to him between last year and this year, but I mean, I give props to DeBoer. He does what Saban never did, and that's play young players.
Yeah.
I mean, we see, in week 1 and 2, we play, I think it was 40 different players in the games. That did not happen under Saban. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm on each side of the ball. I mean, that didn't happen. And when we get in positions where, like now, like Damani Jackson sucks and someone needs to step up, they have experience. We didn't
Right.
have that under Saban.
Yeah.
So I give props to him for that.
Yeah, and I mentioned the rushing attack, like getting Bernard, carries, getting him. He had explosives there, and that's what you need if you're struggling. Which Bama's been struggling on the run. They have been giving up, ground yards too, on the opposite side of the ball. So that's something that they need to work on. But I give props to the staff. Let's move on, guys. Talk a little bit here about Arizona State, Texas Tech. Will Hammond, he's playing for Hurt Morton. Not a horrible performance for this guy, but it's still, you miss that
It made the difference.
You can tell. And Sam Levitt being in after, his injury, stepping up, he had some awesome throws. Like really just, you're like, how that's impressive. I know Michigan State still wishes they had him at quarterback. But then you look at it, it was such a tight game until the end. And then things went haywire in the fourth, back and forth, scores. Texas Tech was so close. They took a late lead, and then Arizona State was able to drive down and win the game. I didn't punish in my rankings Texas Tech too much. Some have totally dropped them to the end of the top 25. I still think this is a good squad. I think Arizona State's good, and we kind of saw this last year from them. They started kind of slow and yucky, and then they started really getting on an upward trend of meshing. And I think Dillingham's a hell of a coach. I think there's a very real chance that, he gets maybe backdoors them into the playoffs. So we'll see what happens with this team, but I'd still like to see more out of Arizona State on the ground. Riley Brown's doing what he can, but get him some more help. I mean, they gave Jeff Sims 2 freaking carries. He should not touch the ball. That man should not see the field again. I'm sorry, but he pisses me off. Guys, what do you think?
Arizona State, great win. Congratulations. Texas Tech, you're done. You're cooked. You just lost to what I think is a team that you should have beat by 2 touchdowns.
Oh,
if you're going to be a top 10 team and you play an unranked team, I don't care who they are, you should be winning by at least 7, if not 14 points, especially with your offense being so good.
Yeah. I don't know. Blake, what do you feel, buddy?
I kind of agree with what you said. Not having Baron Morton, I mean, that changed the game to me. Defensively, they've been standout this year, but it kind of goes back to, and we've talked about it at other times throughout the year, when the offense is not scoring, it's putting a lot of pressure on the defense. They're not getting a lot of rest when your offense is going 3 and out. Yeah. And, they just get worn out. And I think that's what happened here in the first half, especially. They're just tired by the end of the game. Now, they did fight back. I mean, I was shocked that they came back at all.
Yeah.
But I do think Arizona State is a good team, despite, unranked, whatever. I do still think they're a good football team.
Yeah.
I don't really know what else to say. I do think Texas Tech is a solid unit. I don't know that they're a top 10 team, but I do think they've got a really good defense, and their offense can be a great offense.
Yeah, we'll see when, what happens with Morton and his, injury and coming back. But I think you miss that veteran leadership. The dude's a gamer. Trev, I get what you're saying, though. I mean, you're on the road. If you're a top team, you've put in the money in the portal, all these things, you've got to go win these games. Great teams will win on the road, and it's hard to win on the road. It doesn't matter, who you are, or where you are. You've got to win in road contests. And at least it was a close game. They did make a comeback, so that gives me a little bit of hope, even with Morton out.
Well, just to throw some more defense, sort of. I mean, they did go on the road and beat Utah and Houston.
That's true.
So they have won their road games.
So they can do it against really good teams.
Yeah,
it's just they didn't.
Yeah. No, I feel you. Well, let's talk about LSU and Vandy real quick as we continue to drive through some of these games. LSU.
Go Vandy. I'm buying some Vandy gear.
Oh, yeah, man. Hey, I like Pavia, man. I know he talks trash, but he puts his body on the line for the moment, and I love that. Like that just it gets me going. Nussmeier threw for 225, 2 touchdowns. The rushing attack still for LSU is just like it wasn't bad. It just leaves me wanting more. I know there's some gash plays, there's some good long runs, but I don't know. I just feel like I need to see more. And then Vandy, on the other hand, you're putting up 239 on LSU, who's supposed to have a much better defense this year. Yeah. It's not happening. Again, it's a Brian Kelly special, man. What do you guys, Blake? What do you feel about LSU and Vandy? Vandy's only lost to Bama so far, and they're rolling.
Yeah. Vanderbilt, a good ball team, and LSU is middle tier. Yeah. They're not what I expected them to be. I thought their defense, I thought they'd hold Vanderbilt, back. I felt like LSU's defense was as good, if not slightly better than Alabama, especially in the secondary. But I don't know if not having Whit Weeks was a big deal or what, but Vanderbilt had a great game plan. They executed. They had the bye week. I mean, that helps, a lot of times too. But, they balled out and LSU couldn't stop it, and they couldn't get in the end zone, typical of Brian Kelly.
Yeah.
I say again, Nussmeier's trash.
I agree. Well, we've always said that. I've never thought he was a top.
Well, yeah, I feel like that we are the minority as far as not liking Nussmeier, because I feel like everybody, like we talked about in the preseason, everybody was on about him being the. I was going to say it, but I'm not going to do it. Everybody was on. All about him being the Heisman front runner.
They were.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, I was not sold last year that he was a good quarterback. I'm definitely not sold this year. And thank Jesus, I'm proven right.
Hey, you said it in preseason, and there's times
a little backlash from it when I said it, dude.
You did. There's times when he looks solid, he can make those plays, but as a veteran guy, in games like this, you have to go out and lead your team to victory in these battles, again, on the road. You're a top 10 team, LSU. Brian Kelly, everything that you've said about this team and the squad, you get pissy when people ask you questions about, what about the offensive attack? He's like, didn't we just win a game? I think it was against Florida. He's like, didn't we just win? Like, what's your problem? Why are you asking this question? That shit bugs me. Dude, you're a goddamn coach, and these are reporters. That's their job. Fuck the pleasantries. You're going to get questions. Shut up and just answer it. If you're pissy, then something's wrong. Like, that's just a fact of life. So, no, there's things that need to get fixed. I agree. Man. You got to run the ball. You've got to find a way to get things going on the ground.
And it's crazy to me that we're talking about LSU and be like, hey, you need to figure out how to run the ball.
Yeah.
Like the team that produced Leonard Fournette. Like, come on, guys.
Do better, LSU. Let's move on, guys. Vandy, they're on a roll. They've got a great track. I mean, I don't know, but I want to look at their schedule real quick. Coming up, they've got Mizzou, Texas, Auburn, Kentucky, and Tennessee.
Yeah,
I don't know how many of those they'll win. I think it's very possible they beat Missouri. It's possible they beat Texas if Texas can't figure out how to play offense. Auburn's going to be a tough one because they're I think defensively a tough squad, but offensively they have issues. Kentucky, I don't even know. We'll talk about them very soon. And then Tennessee's a team, a rivalry game there at the end. So Vandy's they've got a track. It's going to be tough, but they've got a track to the SEC championship game, which is insane to say. Let's talk about Notre Dame and USC real quick. Blake, I know you've got no love for USC. But to me, I'm really impressed with Notre Dame on the ground, what they did. What I was expecting more from Michigan, even though their offensive line had a disgusting game that game against USC. Notre Dame went out and just pummeled them. They put it on them. I mean, 300 yards on the ground. And then USC that, only 68 on the ground. They're playing catch up. Maeva had a solid air tag, but still threw 2 picks. What do you guys think about this one? I still like Notre Dame. I think they're pretty good.
Out of these two teams, I'm like Notre Dame more, which kind of hurts me in my soul. But yeah, Marcus Freeman has them playing well. I will retract my statement in the offseason thinking that their schedule was a little bit more lax. Actually, I think it's probably one of the more difficult ones in the country, and I credit them for basically scheduling such a hard schedule. So I think that they're a playoff team. They'll be there. I don't have any doubts of that in my mind. I have them in the top 7. I think I have them number 7 on my rankings. They could have been a top 5 team.
You move them up.
But yeah, I think that Notre Dame is going to be there. USC is not really much I need to talk about. I don't really need to talk about them too much, but I think USC might need to consider doing a head coach change, though.
You're done with Lincoln Riley?
I don't think I'm not done with him. I think Lincoln Riley is a very good coach. I don't think he has the type of players coming into USC that work well with his type of offense, type of style in general. That's just I have no real proof of that. It's just a general observation. It just doesn't seem like he gets the same out of his players that he was doing at OU, and that where I think he could do a lot better at maybe I don't know, Florida. If Lincoln Riley got his hands on Florida, I feel like it would be trouble for a lot of people.
That'd be an interesting fit. Blake, what do you think about Riley and this USC squad?
I don't think that I like him as a coach, but I think he's in the wrong league. I don't think the Big Ten, I don't think the SEC fits his style of game. He is a Big 12 top coach.
Yeah.
I think in the Big 12, I think he's undefeated with somebody like a Texas
Oklahoma
Tech.
State. There's your cue.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
But he's not leaving Los Angeles money for and I don't think he's going to Florida. Recruiting wise, California and Florida are they're neck and neck as far as raw talent. So many 5 stars come out of those 2 states alone.
Yeah.
But just in general, at USC, they're a good team, but they're not an elite top tier team to me. Maeva, he's a solid quarterback, but he's just a Doug Nussmeier to me. Their defense, I don't see nothing special about them. Notre Dame, however, I got shit in the whole first half of the season because I kept them in the top 25.
Yeah.
But I see what they've got though. You look at their losses. They've got 2 losses to until Friday, teams both in the top 5.
Yeah.
And by 1 score. It's not like, and they was in both of those games till the very end. It could have easily went the other way in both of those.
Yeah.
And they have just, I would say like Notre Dame, Alabama, Vanderbilt, those teams just have been getting better progressively week by week. I'll argue, they say that those 3 are the most improving teams week to week.
Yeah.
And I really like Notre Dame's running game. I think they've got probably the best running backs and offensive line in college football.
Yeah, and I think they've shown ways that they can win in multiple ways. Instead of they've scored with anybody, Miami, Texas A&M, it doesn't matter. And so that's where I disagree. Jared, said this, put them in the SEC or Big Ten. They've beaten SEC teams. They've beaten it. It doesn't. They have the same type of talent level. They have a good young
So here's what I'll say to that, Jared, and it's really simple, is that Notre Dame's recruiting classes transcends any put them in this conference, put them in that conference. It doesn't matter. The type of talent that Notre Dame gets is on top tier level on either conference.
Yeah,
they're in the top 10. They're top 10 recruiting classes every single year. So I don't agree with that necessarily.
Yeah, I think they're a good squad, and I think they've shown, especially with CJ Carr. He's a young quarterback. He still makes some mistakes. It's going to happen, but he's pretty intelligent passer. And then being able to turn on to your running backs when you need to, and they dominate on the ground, and that's what you have to do at times. But either way, let's move on. Let's talk a little bit BYU, Utah. Mentioned him earlier with Bear Bachmeier. He's turning it up, and he's getting better as the season goes on. He's a young dude, transferred over from Stanford, after, coaching, change happened there. And then he got his shot when BYU got rid of Retzlaff. So he's really starting to show it, not just in the air, but on the ground. He's tough. He ran hard. Dampier, he didn't play bad, but he had some moments where I didn't like the decisions he made, or like maybe keeping a ball too long. He should have thrown some away. But still, they had a hell of a rushing attack for Utah. It was a battle all the way to the end. Great game for the Holy War. I love that contest. Both of them wearing their home unis. Beautiful game. Game day should have been there, in my opinion. What do you feel about this one? Utes, you're 2-2 in the Big 12, but BYU 4-0, man. They've got a great track right now.
They've got a great track. They're still going to lose because they have a 47 guy under center, so they're just going to lose at some point.
Hey, that number's going to come back to catch them at some point.
It's coming back. That's just not. That does not. Eye test fail. It's just a fail.
It bothers me.
I'm sold on them.
They're fantastic.
Yeah. I've been on the fence with them for several weeks just because, like I watched the East Carolina game with them, and they just really seemed to struggle, like they couldn't find their footing. In Arizona, I felt like they lacked identity, struggled at times to move the ball, and that's why I picked Utah to win this game. And they balled. They did. They fought hard.
Sure.
So I'm sold.
I give them props for what they're doing on the road, and they're winning tight games at Colorado, at East Carolina, at Arizona, and soon they're about to have 2 more big road tests. They've got 3 road games left for the rest of the season. Mm-hmm. You've got Iowa State coming up and Texas Tech, back to back on the road.
Tough.
Iowa State they're not a bad program. They're solid. They're well coached.
They got a good quarterback.
They do. I like Rocco.
They've got like 40% of their team out with injuries.
Yeah, and so that's something you got to watch for with Iowa State. But then Texas Tech, will their quarterback come back? Will the guy that's in currently, will he be able to is he going to keep playing? How much is he going to grow? And will Texas Tech be ready for them? There in Lubbock. It's not an easy stretch here with them. Texas Tech, TCU's a solid squad. Cincinnati's been playing really well. So they've got some tough games here. And we mentioned this preseason. Everybody sees it. The Big 12 eats themselves alive. Can BYU survive? We don't know yet, but they're looking good, and they're battle tested right now. So that leans a lot to what they can do moving forward. And I agree that would have been something. I saw there was rumor of him going out that way or committing there. That'd be an interesting thing to see him in Georgia. All right, let's talk about Missouri and Auburn real quick, guys. This again, we said it earlier. It's just kind of slop fest, man. Both he has moments of looking really sharp, and then there's others where you're like, what are you doing? The line didn't help him much. The overtime periods were nasty. They did get the win there. Playing for a field goal almost cost Missouri the game. What do you guys think, man? What do you feel about this squad and Auburn too? They're just kind of
Hugh Freeze needs to go. Hugh Freeze is a washed up alcoholic. Auburn had multiple opportunities to win that game.
Yeah.
And couldn't do it. The kicker sucks. I know he had like whatever Crohn's or whatever it was, and he, whatever.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be kicking the football. I know you feel bad for him. I'm glad he's come back, whatever. I'm glad he's healthy, but that's awful. He doesn't need to be on the field.
Yeah, that was bad. That was a very bad kick. It was, I think it was like 55 yards or something like that, or less, and it ended up in the end zone.
Yeah,
like that. Your Division I pro, your kicker should not be kicking like that. I do feel bad for the guy. Like, great story for him to start at a program like that, but geez, Pete, man.
Well, at some point, winning games have to matter more than someone overcoming an illness, and that's where Auburn's at. But offensively, I hate Auburn with a passion. I'm glad anytime they lose, even if it's the refs, go refs. But but as an Alabama fan, it's painful to watch how bad the offense is at Auburn.
Yeah.
It is so bad.
It's pretty terrible. Yeah. I would agree with that.
Yeah,
I would expect that Hugh Freeze will not be their coach but next year. I would imagine.
I think he's hot seating for sure.
He's definitely on the hot seat, and I would also flip that around. And apparently, this is Coach's Corner this episode because I feel like that Dinklage will be gone too from Mizzou. I think he'll be a hot Dinklage. Dinklage. There we go.
Dinklage. Oh,
yeah.
I can't even think of his name right now because you've got me jacked
Drinkowitz.
up.
Drinkowitz, that's it.
God dang it. I'm like, that's not his name.
It's not, but it sounded good.
Dinkelberg. That's what I'm hearing.
Dingleberry.
Yeah, pretty. I mean,
I think he'll be a hot topic, and I think he'll be a coach that'll be moving on from Mizzou.
It's very possible. He's done a really good job at Missouri. He's kept them relevant when they've lost key players and top. He's brought in top end talent from rival schools as well in the portal. He's doing a good job there. The rushing attack, I'm expecting more from Bo and Hardy. But they've put that on Hardy too. Is like he did great against non-power 4 teams, but he struggles against top end competition, and Auburn's got a good defense. They've got strong players across the roster. I mean, even offensively, Cam Coleman's a beast. He had a hell of a game. Cobb had a fine game on the ground. It's still just Jackson Arnold. I just don't trust him to go out and win you a game. And they're 3-4 right now. Looking at the rest of their schedule, guys, they've got Archie, Kentucky, Vandy, and Mercer in Alabama coming up. It's possible they win 2 of them. I mean, they should. They got Mercer. I mean, that's at least one. Kentucky, I don't know. We're going to talk about them here next. So we'll see what happens with Auburn. But good for Missouri. They're getting their wins, but it's ugly the way they're winning. Texas and Kentucky, I want to just touch on this one really quick. What the hell happened? How is this possible? When you look at the box score, the stats, any of it, Kentucky ends up losing, late to Texas. Texas wins, on an overtime kick. But when you look at the stats, Arch only had 132 yards. Texas had 47 yards on the ground. Kentucky, on the other hand, almost 260 yards passing, 130 on the ground. I mean, they dominated the stat sheets, but they could not finish. They just couldn't do it. They owned the time of possession battles by almost 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, that is just disgusting for Stoops. You've got to feel a pit in your stomach if you're a Kentucky fan. I'd fire his ass on the spot. You should have a big win right there against, Texas. And then that happens. That's nasty. Nasty work. What do you guys think real quick about Texas and their offensive struggles?
Not much, actually.
No thought. Don't even care about them. Don't even think about them.
No. It falls on the Sark to figure it out.
Yeah,
honestly, because I mean we're well into the season and we're still having the same problems that we did 3-4 weeks ago. What's being done is my question.
Yeah, I don't know. You're right. It's not getting better. They're floundering. And that's Blake. What do you feel? I mean, is there any hope for this team?
I don't think so. I don't think they're in a position to where it's like, do we fire Sarkisian or something like that?
No, I don't think it's that far.
It's one of those things like you can't just keep saying, well, Arch Manning ain't what we thought. Because, we're halfway through the season. Well, make a change, do something. Yeah. Get him a weapon out there, try some different receivers, mix up the offensive line, try some different schemes. Make a change, and I'm not seeing that. I don't know if it's just lack of experience or what, but something's just not right. And I know Sark is a great offensive mind because, he won a national championship at Bama. I've watched his play calling personally.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing. I don't know why we're not seeing it on the field.
Sometimes it's just what you have on the roster. So it looks good on paper, and then it's just not there. I know, Jacob. I know you do, man. That's our resident Texas fan. I know you're feeling the pressure on this. you brought in, guys like Endries, who I thought was going to be a really top performer for you out wide or at the tight end position. And it's just not happening. I agree. The O-line has been the trouble from the get-go.
Yes,
it has.
Well, I will say in this game, that was one of the key things that I saw. Kentucky, despite the record, they have a very good defensive line. Those dudes can get after it. And I thought that was going to be a good matchup, that line or line on line, because Texas does. They have got some problems up front.
Yeah, they certainly do. And we mentioned in the preseason that Kentucky's got a solid roster. Like, it's not bad. It just depends on who's starting at quarterback and how much they can get out of it. And he had a hell of a game. I mean, he threw for 260 on this Texas defense. That's pretty solid. And the Texas defense got after him for 5 sacks, 11 tackles for loss. The key points when it mattered, and it kept him out of the end zone. But for me, I know that the offensive line is the problem. And I think there was something, they replaced 4 starters, if I remember correctly. But it's like Texas recruits well. They've got talent. The portal's there. Why is it so, dysfunctional? That's something I'd need to go back and look more on. Or Jacob, I look forward to having a conversation with you about it, and just see what your thoughts are. But either way, ugly, and Texas coming up. I'm a little bit worried for you guys, to be honest. You got Mississippi State coming up, which is improved. Vandy, they're rolling right now. You got UGA, Archie, who's offensively moments of good strength. If you can't score with them, you're in trouble. You're in deep shit. And then Texas A&M at the end. So we'll see what happens with this Texas squad. Real quick, I want to mention these last 2 games before we shut her down. And I guess we got to talk about our gridlocks and stuff too.
Just real quick.
UCLA goes out and beats Maryland. Maryland offensively, they've been solid, but they're another one that's floundering too. They have moments where they get the leads and they just flop it away. But
UCLA is going to win the Big Ten.
What an impressive! I mean, they've got a track for the Big Ten championship.
They can do it. I've seen the thing. I watched the theory.
What a turnaround for this program. I mean, it's
Thank you,
insane.
Penn State.
Yeah, Penn State. Look what you did for this program. You brought them back to life. It's like Evanescence. But just impressive for them. So I just want to highlight them. And Nico, as much shit as that dude's got, rightfully so. He's playing pretty well. He did have 2 picks, but playing pretty well. And then the last one that I wanted to highlight was Stanford beating Florida State. I know we mentioned it. Trees over Seminoles. If Jared's still in here, I don't know.
If I had a Stanford hat on, I would definitely have worn it.
Yeah. So
he's always lurking around.
He's lurking. I give props to him. I mentioned, the coaching and just getting in on the sideline from Andrew Luck and showing that he's not the coach. He's a general manager, but he is. There he is. There's Jared down there
from the top rope.
From the top rope. I like seeing Andrew Luck on the sideline. So good for them. Adjusting the play calling. Cole Tab had a hell of a game on the ground against FSU. So good one for them. Gents, any other games you want to mention before we talk about our gridlocks and our?
I really don't want to talk about the gridlocks now.
I know you don't, buddy. I know, but unfortunately we have.
And I have to take it. I'm going to take it on the chin. I'm going to be a man and take it.
So
because I'm like Ofer.
Yeah. Trevor, he told you last week you need to pick Stanford, and nobody listens to Jared. It's like maybe you need to start tailing Jared.
He did say it.
No, that's not happening.
So,
but
Stanford, I went with SMU this week. Clemson there was rumor of Klubnik being out, and honestly, I don't think that would have mattered for me either way. Blake, you were close to picking them, but you were just feeling like. OU, tell us about that pick real quick and kind of why you picked South Carolina, who's been struggling themselves.
So in the South Carolina LSU game, I think for one, both of these teams are teams that they live and die by their quarterback play. And defensively, I think they both are fairly similar. Oklahoma's a little more aggressive, but I think South Carolina has the better front. So I'm looking at an injured John Mateer and a healthy Norris Sellers. It's at South Carolina. Oklahoma has not played a tough road schedule. I just kind of felt like it was a pivotal moment for South Carolina's season. They needed that big win. They're at home against an injured, the key player to Oklahoma.
Yeah,
I liked the matchup there, and it didn't pan out. But that's how the gridlocks are supposed to work. You pick a team based on those things, and sometimes they hit, sometimes they don't, and it just didn't hit this week.
And that's one thing for guys, just watching the gridlocks is supposed to be. It's not just any team that you're picking lock of the week. It's either a very tight favorite, it's a 3-point favorite, or lower. So it's going to be these tight battles, and that's where we're trying to make these difficult picks. And it's fun, it's tough, and when you look at these teams, it's material is the show for Oklahoma. Now Blaylock did have a good game against them, but it is what it is. Cocktober is not happening. I've loved that they were trying to get that going. Cocktober, their Cocktobers are flopping. They've gone flaccid. It's just it's not happening, guys.
Loosey goosey.
It's a medical term. We can say it. Okay. Geez. But you know what? I don't even know what I'm saying. Trev, can you pull up that graphic again?
He went limp.
Trev, I hate to bring yours up, but you picked.
Look at mine.
It was
my
close.
goodness.
Well, I'm drawing gridlocks real quick.
We're talking about pick'ems.
Let me just tell you the numbers. I'm gonna tell you the nurbers. I don't want to do it, but I got to. Blake and I are tied at 5-4 on the season. Trev,
0 fucks given. Damn it.
2-7.
How are we doing points wise though?
Points wise,
because
you're up on me by like 5 points,
and we're not going to talk about Trevor.
Yeah,
so that's great.
Yeah,
Back to Pick'em.
I didn't tally that. Pick'em. Trev's doing better there. So currently I'm sitting at 63-30 on the season. Trevor at 57-36. Blake had a rough week, 54-39. A lot of blood on that page, guys. Yeah. A lot of blood there.
It wasn't just us though. All of Twitter. I mean, it was nationwide.
Nobody picked well. Nobody picked well.
It was a rough week.
So we'll try to get back on track, and I will say I got a 3-game streak on the gridlocks, guys. Your boy's heating up. All right. Then we'll see. Yeah, Louisville. You did take Louisville, didn't you, last week, Jacob? One other game I want to mention, and I don't know how it escaped my mind. Colton brought it up. UAB. Yeah. Now, Memphis did have their starting quarterback out. I get it, but still. Memphis, what the team has around them, should have been able to finish that out. UAB just fired their head coach. And this is the performance you do. Freaking game day was probably going to go to Memphis next week with this matchup that they had coming up. And then you go out and you blow it like that. I mean, you got nobody to blame. And people, they shit on the group of 5 all the time. And then this happens. You're like, if you're a playoff contender, you have to beat those teams no matter what. And Memphis is doing good at bringing in talent, and they're recruiting well. UAB went, upset of the week. I know Stanford's the hot one. Everybody wants to talk about it, but Florida State's been floundering themselves. I've said that word a lot today, I know. But UAB, it's a great fish.
Fish. UAB is definitely team of the week.
Yeah, no doubt. UAB, great win. You knocked them out of, almost playoff contention, right? I mean, I don't know.
I would say so.
Unless Memphis comes out and beats South Florida and wins out.
Look,
I don't know.
At the end of the day, if a group of 5 team wants it in, you better be undefeated.
I mean, you got to be pretty damn close.
I think the only team that could probably pull off not being undefeated is a team out of the Mountain West. But other than that, if you're in any other group of 5 conference, you have to go undefeated.
I think the
Conference
American
USA doesn't have the
leeway.
Power, the strength of schedule to handle that.
But I agree. I think if South Florida's one loss, they will be in.
Yeah,
I believe.
I agree with you. So for me, it's the American and the Mountain West, and then the others.
Yeah.
The others, I agree, Trevor. If you're not undefeated, you're probably not getting that. Like even Navy right now, I like the way they're playing, but look at their strength of schedule. Yeah. Look at who they're playing. I'm like, I appreciate what they're doing. We've talked about them preseason. They've got so much returning talent and everything. But when you look at the schedule, I just can't put them in the top 25 yet. Not around other teams that have much better wins, even if they have losses. Oh, Barbara down here real quick. ACC and conference championship game predictions.
The ACC is wide open right now. I can't say who I think is going to for sure be in it, but I could list 3 or 4 teams that have the best chance. I still think Miami is probably going to be there.
They'll be there. They'll be there.
Louisville, they've got a chance. Tech.
Yeah.
I mean,
see, me personally, I still think Georgia Tech's in.
I mean,
they're the most complete team. I know Miami's really good, but Georgia Tech's top to bottom most complete team in the ACC.
I mean, Miami's got. Well, hey, Pitt still has a chance, Jared.
That's going to be my 4th team. I think Pitt has an opportunity.
So, for everyone that doesn't know, real early on, Trevor's ACC championship pick got a little bit busted real quick. And I have not heard the end of it for a little while. So
you're not listen. Many people had Clemson because of all the shit that they had coming back as a contender and a national title contender, and you're not wrong to think that. Absolutely not wrong. I applaud you going for Pitt, and that's a ballsy pick. And they even had a quarterback change, and they're still 3-1 in the ACC right now. 5-2.
It's not over for
and
Pitt.
They have an outside chance. I mean, honestly.
Yeah. So I mean, I do think looking at some comments, I do think Navy loses to Notre Dame. I don't know. I think Georgia Tech might get Georgia. We'll see. It might be close like last year. But looking at
hopefully not as many overtimes.
Yeah, I mean, she's a Pete. God help them. I think Louisville's got a really good shot. They're danger team. Duke, I don't think they have enough. I like the squad. I just don't think they have enough to get there. Pitt's got a chance. SMU's quietly sitting at 3-0 in the conference, 5-2 overall. Virginia's still 3-0. They just had a scare themselves, but I mean, this is a wide open race. It's going to be a fun conference to watch moving forward. If I had to pick one, I still think Miami is going to find a way to get there, and I think they're going to be playing. Gosh, probably
that's
Georgia
the
Tech.
Hard part. That's the hard part.
I think Georgia Tech probably get there.
You know what? You're right. Miami's going to win. Miami's going to win the ACC championship.
Yeah. Yeah. So drop your comments, for future mailbags like that. Great question, Barbara. Thank you. And we'll answer them, as truthfully as we can. So, guys, is there anything we covered our gridlocks? We've covered the pick'ems begrudgingly for some.
Quick off the top of your head, who's the player of the week?
Oh, Diego Pavia.
I was going to say Pavia probably as well. I can't name anybody from UAB, so that's why I picked him as my team. So there's that.
I've probably got to go with like Jeremiah Love, or just what he did on the ground was just fantastic. He's a hell of a gamer.
I do have to shout out Ryan Williams not having a drop finally. Yeah, that was nice to see, and he made some fantastic catches too.
I mean, listen, Ryan Williams, he's trying to get things figured out. Gunnar Stockton, he had a nice game.
He had a good game.
He's really stepping it up. There's a lot of guys out there that are stepping up. So Louisville defensive backs, definitely not Carson Beck. Guys, we appreciate you tuning in. We're gonna hop off and get to the rest of our nights. So we hope you guys have a good one. Thanks for tuning in, and share with your friends. And we'll see you guys next week on Sunday at 8 Central. We'll see you around.
Take it easy, everybody.